Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. So you can see I'm in my garage with my friend Fernando right here. He came and brought the kerosene heater because my heater it was like 10 degrees in here. My heater doesn't warm up the garage. It got up to like 40 degrees, but then he brought this over and we got it to 50. But today I'm gonna be working on getting this harness tucked up on the bottom of the fender. So 240 fuse boxes go right here, right on the wheel well, and it just looks like shit having all this wiring over here. So if you guys watched my previous video, I explained how the stock battery goes right here, and usually battery acid and water collects on the bottom and it rusts this whole thing out. So when I bought this car, it was all rusted out, so I went ahead and I put a new plate. But to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the plate. I could have done better. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut out that plate and just pass the whole harness through the bottom, so I can go ahead and tuck it on the bottom, weld the new plate on it, and go ahead and spray paint this area same color as the car, and we should be good. I was gonna have my other friend come over and help me unpin the whole harness and tuck out the bottom and then rewire everything, but it was gonna be a pain in the ass, and since I want to fix this, it's just a perfect opportunity just to pass this whole harness right through the bottom, and then I won't have to worry about having to unpin it and pin it all back together. So yeah, so I'm gonna work right now getting this fender off. It's almost all the way off already, so I need one more bolt. The whole thing comes off, and then I can expose all this and get to cutting and welding. All right, so I went ahead and turned this thing on again because over here the heater's all the way to the corner, so it gets pretty cold over here, and I can see this little gap on the bottom of the garage door. Some air is coming in, so I gotta get a new seal for the whole door, and as you can see, there's another gap over here. So I gotta get a whole new seal, but for now it's gonna stay like that till summer because I don't feel like doing all that right now. We got one more bolt on the bottom, and then we should be able to take this whole fender off. Should be out. All right. So I'm pretty sure that's all of it. I don't remember putting any more bolts on this. We shall see. Let's harness out of the way. You hold this to the side. Thank you. There you go. So we got here the KBD bumper. KBD fender. And as you can see, I already have the wire. I already have the harness tucked on top because I used to rub on the bottom. But so my plan is to come over here, cut a slit here, and cut this old. So this is the whole plate that I put in. As you can see, the little welds kind of suck ass. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a slit here, pass the harness to the bottom, and then take this whole plate off and re-weld the new plate and call it a day. So I don't think it's gonna be that hard. I think it should be pretty straightforward. Just all these welds have to come off. So I got a new sanding tool. I have a new grinder. It's gonna work perfect to get this this going. All right guys, so here I have my grinder, and I'm gonna start by grinding down this little welds right here on the wheel well. They're not really deep, so it should be pretty simple to get them off. And then I always have to move away the harness to the side, get the ones on the back, and then get the one on the sides, and we should be good, I think, to pull this whole thing off. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so my boy over here, we came up with a better idea than cutting everything off. Just passing the whole fuse box to the bottom and taking the plastics off apart. And I think it's working so far, so there you go. There you go. But you look at that. I didn't even have to fucking do this.
Wow.
Well, actually not. That part can stay here. I just need this part right here. Oh wait, hold on. What is this? A ground? Oh, it's a ground stuck right here. Then would you look at that? So now all this shit well if I really wanted to. Pass it through there. Pass it through there. So that's way better. So if you guys see how much more space is here now, so we can probably just tuck this up to the top, and now we freed up all this space.
Wow.
Look at this guy. He was a shiesty on. So now all this can be tucked up on the bottom, you know, nicely, not just thrown there. The only thing I'll have to extend is probably some of these wires for the alternator. So definitely be the alternator wire, and it'll be a couple of the plugs, but they're all like 2-pin wires, so that's not a big deal. So yeah, now I'm gonna have to go get some fucking spray paint. There's a store on the street that they'll match the paint, so I'll probably just go ahead get some new one. Well, I might actually sand this down, make it a little nicer, sand out the welds, and then paint it. Because already by just sanding down those welds, it already looks so much better. So yeah, it's not a big deal. Alright guys, so we're over here looking at this, trying to figure out what's a better way to route it. We're thinking about just doing a hole saw. He came out with to make a hole here, and then cut a slate to bend the metal past the whole harness. But it's gonna be a lot of metal to bend and then cut and weld. So you can see there's already a hole here for the harness for the headlights to go through, and it's not a big jump to go from here to here. So we're just gonna cut 2 little lines. You're gonna cut like about 1 inch of metal off, past the harness, and then I can just go ahead and weld it back up, and you won't really see it, and it's gonna work. So the harness will be coming out of this whole harness is gonna be coming out of here instead of the side, because having it on the side is gonna be really awkward to put the fender on, and it just probably won't look the best going through here, you know, all the way across. So by putting it on this little hole, we can at least tuck it up tighter and make it look nicer. So yeah, I'm gonna bust out the grinder real quick, cut 2 slits here, that's the harness, bust out the welder, and throw some little beans on it. I don't throw dimes, I throw beans. I got the good old Milwaukee grinder. I'm gonna move this to the side and go ahead, cut a slit from, like I said, from this side to the front part, from the side to the front, and we should be good. Try to move this out of the way. All right, should be good now. Let's see. All right, I get your battery. This one has 2 bars, but I don't know why it's not really cutting. Bust out the big one. Alright, so here we have the cut. Now we can just pass the whole harness to the side. Hold this real quick. Grab the whole harness. Pass it through the hole. Oh, let me. This is just an illustration. This is wires to the side. There you go. Alright, so we can probably cut this, stretch this a little bit more. But so as you can see, that looks so much better now. It's all the way all tucked up to the side. Go ahead, close this back up, and just grind it down, put some tacks on it, weld it, and we should be good. Alright, so I got this side cleaned up. I bust out the welder, weld the top part, and then go ahead, sand the bottom part and weld the bottom part. Alright guys, so here we have my boy. He decided to weld it because he's better welder than I am, and he actually did a pretty good job. This metal is super thin, so he went ahead, tacked it up, you know, little by little, and then went over it, and it actually came out really good. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Now he's gonna go ahead, sand it down, paint it. I want to call to order some paint, but they're already closed, so I'll call them tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and order some paint for this side and order some paint for here. But yeah, I'm excited. So that actually worked really well. We got the harness all the way through. Now we just gotta put it all back together and clean the harness, and see how we're gonna route it. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and put this fuse box right underneath here. Maybe, you know, make some holes, drill some holes, some threads, and we should be all good. Yeah, just make a mess in the floor. That's all gonna be frozen tomorrow morning. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Goofy ass. But yeah, I'm super excited. I still gotta come here and clean this engine bay. Like I said last video, this engine bay is full of oil from the old motor when it blew up. So I gotta go ahead. It's super cold outside, so I'm gonna have to put up a tarp, get a bucket of water, and just go little by little and, you know, clean everything. But yeah, I mean, I can't believe how much space I cleaned up. The engine bay looks so much better now. Now I can go ahead and drill a hole here for the intercooler piping. I'll probably wait until I start doing the intercooler piping to drill the hole. But basically, I'm just gonna drill a hole straight through here, so we can go from, you know, here to the turbo, and it should work really well. All right, guys. So I went ahead and cleaned the whole harness with some of the Gojo towels. These are great to clean your hands and greater to use to clean any oily stuff. So I went ahead and cleaned the harness, and I wrapped all of it. So now it looks like OEM, looks really good. Not sure yet if I'm gonna keep these connectors because these are for like the washer fluid and stuff. I might get rid of them, not sure yet. I mean, I can just tuck them up. But I was looking at places where I can put the fuse box, and I was gonna put it right on the bottom of here. But if I do it here, I have the chance of getting too much water into the fuse box if it's raining. So I think I'm just gonna set it right here underneath the headlight, because once the bumper is on, no water will be able to, you know, to hit it and get soaked. So by putting it down here, I think it's gonna be the better choice. But as you can see, it was hard to see. But it's super clean. Like the whole wiring is so much cleaner now, and it looks nicer. But yeah, I might just maybe put some rib nuts or just zip tie it straight to the bracket, and it's gonna sit up right up here, nice and tucked. But yeah, I mean, I'm so happy how much space there is here now. It looks way better. All right, guys, so I got some work done. Went ahead and put the new rack on the new subframe. So my friend Dakota came over, and he sold me this subframe that's already cut and welded, and it's actually clean, except, you know, it's actually clean compared to mine that's all dirty, and I will have to cut it and weld it. I got it for really cheap, so it didn't really matter. But I went ahead and put the new rack on it. So now this is ready to go back in the car. I went ahead and I used these Gojo towels and cleaned the whole engine bay. And as you can see, it looks way nicer here now. I didn't want to, you know, get the whole garage floor wet and make a mess. So I just decided to use these little towels, and actually worked really good. I'll probably go ahead and go over again with some like detailer or something before I put the motor in it. But for now, just so I'm working here, it looks way nicer, way better. Okay, so I'm back after the last clip. I think it's been around 3 or 4 days. It's actually been below zero, negative for about 2 weeks, and it just got so cold that this heater wouldn't heat up the garage. So I had to use this to heat up the garage, and it was super loud, couldn't really record. And as soon as I turned it off, it would still get cold in here because, again, even though this garage is insulated on the walls, the top is not, so a lot of the air, you know, all the hot air races and basically escapes. So it was just super cold to work in the garage. But, you know, last clip that I recorded was me getting the engine being clean, which, you know, it came out pretty good. I have to go get some spray paint for this, which I have my brother bought a gallon of the same paint as this because he's painting his Miata the same color as mine. I'm gonna take some of the paint to the shop, and they're gonna put some of it on the spray can. So I have to do that, but it's not really a priority. I can do that, you know, later this week. I also have to go ahead and put my new, you know, rack in the car, put a new bushing that I have for it. But the main thing that I want to work on today is getting this subframe clean, so I can start taking all these mounts off and start taking all the control arms off, the diff, and all that. I could leave it the way it is, but I don't want to put it all dirty back in the car just because, you know, it doesn't look good. And I have to go put my new upper arms on, and I went ahead and bought new bushings for all the arms and ball joints for the bottom arms. So I gotta go to my buddy's shop and press those out and put the new ones in. So yeah, so I got some work. Luckily I did this because this bushing completely came off, like this whole, the inner race for it literally just came off when I was messing with it. So all these bushings are shot, you know, good thing that I'm gonna go ahead and take them off. Alright guys, so here it is, the burst subframe. I left the rear toe arms on and the sway bar just because it's not really heavy at all. And I don't need to take them off. But as you can see, everything is taking off. I made a huge mess on the floor. But I just want to show you guys how bad these ball joints were. So I'm pretty sure these are like original ball joints, never been changed. They're freaking terrible. The bushings are all ripped off. They all fell apart. So I'm pretty sure the car will feel way better once I do, you know, this bushings of the ball joints. I'm also doing wheel bearings on it because this one, they've been here for 3 years and they're cheap ones and they already have play on it. So I'm gonna go ahead, change those. I already bought new ones. So hopefully, I hope they come in today or tomorrow just so I can get them done. And then same thing for both sides. But yeah, these ball joints were terrible. I'm super glad I'm doing this because this is unacceptable. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, grab the subframe, grab the control arms and the axles, put them in my CRV and head to the car wash so I can power wash all this. All right, so as you can see, my bed is almost to the top full of snow. It's at least, I think it's over a foot of snow here. Look at that, crazy. And it's all hard and it's kind of soft now, but it's gonna take me forever to take all this off. And I really don't want to start that truck and let it warm out. It's gonna take a while. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead, snake through here. RFP to my Miata. There's like a foot of snow on it as well. So I gotta snake through here, get to my CRV, and put a tarp on it. All right, so we made it to the car wash. About to take the subframe off, and as you can see, this subframe is disgusting. So I'm about to take it out, put it right here, right over the grate, and start power washing it. Alright guys, so I'm completely soaked, as you can see, and it took me, I've been here probably like 20 minutes power washing this thing. I hit that fucking restart button so many times, but it came out pretty decent. All the sludge did not want to come out. Like all this is like just in there, that's not coming out. But as you can see, like you can actually see the paint, not all the sludge only. So I'm happy how it came out, but if I want to perforate, it has to be sandblasted, and I don't really need to do all that. So it's good the way it is. Controls came out pretty decent as well. I'm just gonna go ahead, take it to my buddy's house, and pull out the bushings. The axles come out pretty clean too. They were all full of sludge from, you know, from it leaking. And the good thing about this car wash is the water is heated. It helped a lot to get all the sludge off. But yeah, as you can see, it's steaming. I'm gonna let it rinse off a little bit, then go ahead, put it back in the CRV at home. When I start cleaning the garage, so I can go ahead and pull out these bushings and put in the new bushings, and we should be good. Alright guys, so I put the subframe back in here. I went ahead and cleaned out the floor a little bit, clean all the tools and all the bolts. I want to show you guys how bad the subframe bushings were, that just by lightly tapping them with a hammer, all the inserts came off, except this one. This is the only one was good. This one gave me a little trouble, a couple of smacks, but the two front ones literally came out with like 5 hits. The subframe looks so much better now that it's clean. I missed a couple spots. Well, I mean, this spot doesn't really come out. It's all stuck in there like all nasty sludge. So that actually was pretty easy. As you can see, I went ahead, cut a slit on them. Once I had it cut, I went ahead with the flathead, bent it out, and then I just hammered them out. Literally took me 2 minutes to get this one off. They're usually a pain in the ass, but I'm glad this one came out pretty easy. I just gotta go and repeat the same step on all 3 of them, and hopefully within 10 minutes I have them all off. But yeah, if you guys ever have to do it, remember, always cut it with a slit. Make sure you don't cut the subframe itself. So you can see the subframe is really good. It wasn't cut at all, so just make sure you don't cut too much. So you gotta keep an eye on it when you're cutting, and it should be good. All right, guys. So I went ahead and I got all the bushings out. This one gave me a little trouble, but got it out. You're supposed to leave this overnight in the fridge so it goes easier to put them in, but I forgot. So I let them sit outside under the snow for an hour and a half. I got it in with the mallet. I had to hammer the fuck out of it to go in, but yeah, I got no choice. I gotta put them in. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, get all this installed, and then I'll be back. All right guys, so as you can see, I went ahead and cleaned up a little bit and finished putting all the bushings in. The top ones were super easy. The bottom ones gave me a little trouble, but I mean, not bad at all. The subframe, it's ready to go back in the car. Of course, I have to put all the arms in it, but To be honest, was a pain in the ass taking them all off. So I prefer to do them, to put the subframe in and then do all the arms in the car because it's gonna be way easier. I still have to wait to get my wheel bearings in and get my ball joints in, so I can put the control arms in. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put the differential in just because it's gonna be way easier to do the diff out here than me lifting the diff by myself and putting it on. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put in the diff and the axles, and then I'll do the rest when it's in the car. So today was definitely a successful day. I got a lot done. This is what I wanted to do today, so super happy I was able to finish the subframe. Yeah, I can go ahead, paint and do all that, but to be honest, I mean, I don't really care. No one's gonna see it, and it's just a subframe. It's just a drift car. It's not a show car. It's nothing. All right, guys. So I don't know what part of the video is gonna make it. So I finally got the gaskets to put my exhaust manifold on and my turbo. So I'm just gonna go ahead, grab my turbo, which is right here, and my exhaust manifold is. My car just bought me this desk, so I'm trying to sell this one. Excuse the mess. So I gotta grab the exhaust manifold, turbo, head over to the garage, and start installing that because I can't wait to see how it looks in the motor. So I forgot that I have to weld in my wastegate V-bands. You can see this has a 4-bolt flange, and of course it's not gonna work with my Turbo Smart wastegate. So I gotta weld in this. But I was looking that this is slightly bigger than the hole, or like the pipe that's coming off the turbo. So I think I'm just gonna weld it straight on top of this. I was gonna cut it off, but this pipe seems probably like a 1/4 inch smaller. So I'm not gonna be able to weld that on it. And it'd probably be easier just to weld it right on top. I'm not sure if the clamp is gonna fit. It should. I'll bring the wastegate out here and double check. But first I have to practice. I really haven't practiced at all welding a stainless. So for sure I have to practice before I do that. But for now we're just gonna mock everything up just to see how it looks, because it's been sitting on my shelf forever and I'm dying to see how it looks. Here are the gaskets, some studs, and of course the turbo. Tomorrow we'll go ahead and install the intake, but for now we can install the turbo and just see how it looks. And I also want to install it just so I can do my oil drain. I have to make the AN line. So once it's all, you know, clogged and I know that's good, I can go ahead and start making the oil drain for it. All right, so I got all the studs in. I just gotta take all the nuts off, and then I can start putting the gaskets and slapping on the manifold. All right, guys, so turbo is on the motor, and let me tell you, it looks super good. Issue that I'm running in right now is the oil drain. So you can see the oil drain goes right over the exhaust housing. So I may have to do like a 90, like straight 90, and then something to go down between here, like an S shaped kind of. Not sure how I'm gonna do that because there's no way I'm gonna be able to put a line on this. So that's why I had this little adapter to make it stick out. But if I do that, I mean, it's possible for me to run it, but it's gonna look kind of janky and I don't like it. It'd be better if, you know, if this stays the way it is right now, you know, slightly tilted. It's hard to tell for you guys, but as you can see, it's slightly to the right. So, you know, maybe cut this flange off, put a 90 straight on this, and then put another 90 to go down, and then I can just run my line probably around here, you know, run my AN line from here to the bottom for the oil drain down here. I'm pretty sure I can make it work. It's just gonna be tricky figuring out the parts, especially since we're gonna have a stud and a nut right in here. This is what I hate about this type of manifolds, that it makes it really hard for you to tighten down these bolts. But yeah, I'm super excited. It looks really good. I am gonna paint my valve covers, so I'm gonna leave them like this, but I have spray paint from the engine bay, because I went ahead and painted the engine bay, the part that I grinded down last time. I went ahead and painted it, and I still have to hit it with clear. But before I hit the little thing on the clear, because you have to, it's a 2K clear, so you have to use this little red plastic thing and pop the clear so it mixes. And I'm not sure if you can reuse it after you do that, so I want to wait until I do the valve cover so I can clear this part of the engine bay and then clear the valve covers as well. But yeah, I went ahead and I had a couple spots in the engine bay just so it'll be all purple, because there was a couple nicks on the towers. I didn't really do much prep. It's just a quick hit. You can see how it's matte. It's not completely shiny like other parts of the engine bay, but you know, once I hit it with a clear, it should be a-okay. And then I went ahead and put a 3-inch hole here as well, so I can run my intercooler piping, and that should be all good. Alright guys, so I really want to weld the V-band myself, and this is like really the first time I tried welding stainless. Even TIG, I only tried on this pipe, only this right here. That's how I did. The rest was my friend who did it. So I literally have like 20 minutes on aluminum and not even 10 minutes on stainless. But as you can see, like all of my welds have the little dot at the end. My buddy told me that that's because I'm not letting go of the heat fast enough. So I guess when you're about to stop, you have to, you know, back up the heat and then stop. But I've been trying, you know, there's a couple welds. I did a couple on this side. This was because I forgot to switch it from aluminum to steel. So but the rest, you know, after I switched it, I was doing a little better. But like every single weld has that little dot at the end. So I'm gonna just clean this up and keep on trying. Maybe I'll move to this side because this side's really hot already. But I think, I mean, to be honest, I mean, in my opinion, for the first time, that's not too bad. It's just I have a lot of heat in it. So I think if I back off the heat and I get more practice, I should be fine. But I have the heat super low on this. I only have it at 62 and using 1/16 rod, 308. And I just feel like the pipe is not even that thick, but it's just going right through it. I know my friend told me to raise it up all the way, but I feel like I do better this way now. So I just want to practice like this, and then, you know, once I get used to it, max it out to 120, and then I'll, you know, have more pedal control. But yeah, like right now, you know, I start and I back off the pedal and it's still super hot. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, that's not too terrible, I don't think. Let me clean this side and do a couple more, and then I'll be back and show you guys how I did. All right guys, so I ended up sending it, and I don't know, it's just all excuses, you know. But I couldn't really get between here and the bracket and the flange, like from the top to the flange. I couldn't really get my tungsten in there. Some spots were nice, but others were dumb. Like over here, I fucking stuck the tungsten at the end. I don't know if you can see it, it's not really focusing. But and then over here, it was just a shit show. I don't even know if that's gonna see or not. I'm just so disappointed in myself right now. Some of them, you know, were doing decent when I had a good, like, I could get in there and I was actually comfortable. But most of the time I was just like floating in the air and I was moving a lot. Yeah, I was gonna try and go over this again, but like I had the heat all the way up. I'm gonna try to see if I can melt this down. I'm not sure if it's gonna work or not, but I definitely want to melt that tungsten part down. This camera kind of sucks. Can't really show you guys, but yeah, I'm gonna try to melt that tungsten part off and just to see if it looks a little better. But yeah, hopefully it seals. I don't know, I put a lot of heat through this. It's probably all bent, and trying to see, I'm pretty sure it's bent. Trying to get a good angle on this. I don't know, I'm gonna put the other one on top and see how bent it is. I mean, the fire ring seals it, I believe, but I might have to cut it off and redo it. Let's see. Actually, it looks pretty good. It's not a gap. Oh yeah, you can see some spots. It's higher than the others. Yeah, it's definitely, I guess it's like teeter-tottering around. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to cut it off and redo it. Nice. So I don't think it's gonna seal that way. Like I said, the firing, I think is, you know, what seals, but I'm not sure if it's going to. God damn it. Okay, so since I fucked up the V-band, I'm just gonna order a new one and have my buddy weld it. He's gonna come here and actually show me how to use a welder and how to weld. He did his exhaust and it came out really good. But what I'm gonna do to make it easier, I'm just gonna cut the whole flange around, like all the edges, because the thing is, like, this part was so far out that they wouldn't let me like get in there with the tungsten. So if I cut it, I can actually, you know, get in there comfortably, and the welds will come out good. Yeah. So, and then probably, you know, I can give it less heat as well once I do that. But yeah, I have to, you know, cut everything and redo it. But I'm just gonna move over to the valve covers. I do want to paint in purple, same color as the car. I bought more spray paint. So I was gonna go ahead and start taking everything apart. I hit it with some primer, then with some paint. All right, guys, so I went ahead and sanded them down, primered, and sanded them down again. So now I was gonna heat them up a little bit and hit it with some paint. All right, guys, so I got them all painted. Now I was gonna hit it with some 2K clear, and just come out pretty good. All right, guys, so I just finished putting clear on the valve covers and the engine bay. So I just did the parts that I did last time. So over here, I got clear all over this and some of this corner. The valve covers came out really good. It's hard to tell on camera, but they come out really good. Just gotta let them dry, and then tomorrow I'll come back and put them on the engine. All right, guys, so I went ahead, waited overnight for them to dry, and I just put them on the motor or the engine, however you want to call it. And let me tell you, they look freaking badass. I'm so excited how they come out. They come out very well. Excuse the little fingerprint right there, but they come out very good. Super excited. Even though it's gonna be a cover on here, but you're still gonna see the back part that's purple, and it will match the engine bay of the car. Since this is all brand new clear, this looks so much different now. So I'm gonna have to, I mean, this is all dirty, so probably once I clean it, it'll look just like that. But yeah, I'm super excited how all this came out, especially the valve covers. Not a big fan of the red on the motor, but you know, once I have the intake manifold on, you guys really won't be able to see it, which I'm gonna put on right now because it's right here in the box. It just came in today. So yeah, so once everything's on, pretty sure it's gonna come out very good. And yeah, super excited. All right, so I haven't opened it yet. Open it with you guys. I mean, I already saw the one because I already have bought this, but they sent me the wrong one, so I had to return it and get because they sent me a GTE instead of a GE. And they said it was their fault. It was like a chipping issue or whatever. But come on, stay. Can't really get it. Just stay back. Oh, there you go. And this. So this is the fuel rail, which is all packaged in here. And I actually went ahead and just cleaned my injectors. So so they'll be nice and fresh when I put them in here. You got throttle body here. Then this is bolts. I think yeah, this is the gaskets and the bolts. And here's the intake manifold. So the other one they sent me, the GTE one, actually had a slight dent on top, like right here. It was very hard to see. Oh, actually this one has it too. So I guess this is like a manufacturing error that they do. You can feel it. That's annoying. Oh, it's on the bottom. So it's on the bottom. Oh, it's on top too. So I don't know if you guys can see that little dent. I guess that's what you get when you buy, you know, eBay parts and not $10,000 fucking intake manifold. So actually it came off with a block off plate, some AM fittings. Not sure why, maybe for the bottom part. Some bolts, and all the O-rings for it. And I did buy a thermal gasket. I really hope this is not bent because I just looked at it, put it on my table, and it looked pretty straight. But usually they I've heard that when they weld this, they all get bent. But I mean, compared to my V-bend that I just welded my manifold, from what I can see, it's unbent. But yeah, so I did a Seiki thermal gasket. So I'm gonna go ahead, open this, and install this first. All right, guys, so as you can see, the intake manifold's on, the covers are on, and this thing looks so freaking good. I'm so excited right now. I got a throttle body. I mean, everything's just hand tight. Not sure if I should get longer bolts for here because they don't really go that deep. I might just get longer bolts just to be safe. And I see the one I want to remove this just because I still have to work on the oil pressure side. I'm looking for my Mishimoto sandwich plate. So I'm looking for my Mishimoto sandwich plate, which when I moved, you know, I thought I brought it here. Not sure where it went. I've been looking for it everywhere. And for some reason, I don't know, it's not here. It's not anywhere. It's not at the other house. You know, I really don't know what happened to it. So I'm just gonna keep looking for it. Hopefully I find it because I really want to put it on so I can put it in my oil lines. So I bought a T for the oil pressure sensor and for the oil line. And for something else, I forgot. I still have a lot of work to do in this car. It's just, you know, haven't really had time because of work. But yeah, it's coming together. I mean, we still got around 3-4 months till summer's here. Still have a long time until we start, you know, drifting again. But once everything is done, this thing has to get tuned. It has to make sure everything is good. We should be fine. You know, we have more than enough time. But it sucks seeing the motor just sit there and not running. I just want to see it running already. But yeah, I'm just gonna clean up a little bit because I have a mess. I have to go back to work, so I have to go back inside and start working. But yeah, I just want to show you guys how the intake manifold looks. All right, guys. So I actually found my oil sandwich plate, the Mishimoto sandwich plate that I have that I was running on my VQ. I got cleaned. It's a little dirty, but I was actually in the bottom drawer of my toolbox. So I'm only missing my O2 sensor for my innovative gauge. My buddy actually bought it already, so I'm just gonna go ahead and buy a new sensor because I looked for that sensor everywhere and I'm not sure where it went. But yeah, here I have the gauge. You know, the little oil feed goes on the side. But I'm actually gonna put a T so I can put it. So I get the oil feed and the oil pressure sensor here. But yeah, super excited. Well, actually it has two sides. So I guess I don't need to run the T. I'll figure it out once I'm here. But I want to see how it fits without the whole oil housing because I bought the whole oil filter housing for my friend. I don't need to run it. I prefer not to run it because it takes, you know, less space. Right now, you can run it without it, but I want to see how it is if I go ahead and use the oil filter housing. But yeah, I'm just glad I found it because I really could not find it. And I was like, oh, let me check my bottom drawer in my toolbox, and it was actually there. So that's nice. So I totally forgot to record an outro for this video, and I was about to finish editing. I just noticed that I forgot to record it. So here's just a quick picture that I had AI make me. I just put 240 and Miata, you know, purple 240 and blue Miata, and it came out with this picture. It's pretty cool. So I figured I'd put it here while I talk over it. But yeah. So you guys saw, found my Mishimoto stuff. I'm currently working, but once I'm home, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting everything together. You know, start putting the oil filter housing, the oil lines. I ordered a new V band, so I gotta get that welded. So I still have a lot of footage that I have to record. So if you guys want to watch any of that, make sure to follow the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Again, thanks for watching, guys. If you guys want to watch more, make sure to follow the channel and see you in the next one.